Alright, first off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word in all sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps. Shalom. This is the brother Iram from the James Jamaica camp. Come with another quick lesson. And this lesson is going to be entitled, well, to be honest, I'm not sure what I'm going to title it as yet. But, it's something that I saw as I'm going through the book of Joshua, and the statement that's in the what verse is this? Right, in the 24th verse. That verse right there, it says a lot, right? It says a lot as it pertains to Zion, because the word Zion goes back to what memorial or monument, something that brings something to mind, or something that calls to mind, right? And what Zion is, as what Zion brings to mind, or who Zion brings to mind, is the spirit of Yahweh, through his only begotten son, who is Yahweh Shai, right? So once you think Zion, they're actually the memorial, of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They are actually the representation of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Whenever you hear or see, the elect, who is ultimately Zion, once you see those men, especially in the kingdom, once those men, are given that honor or that glory, ultimately what's going to come to mind is the Lord Yahweh and his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, right? And that's what the men of the Lord are, they're that monument. So let me just go ahead and go in the scriptures. Hopefully this is edifying. This is Joshua 4, and I'll start at verse 19. It says, "And the people came up out of Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, and encamped in Gilgal in the east border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of Jordan did Joshua pitch in Gilgal," right? So if you read the whole chapter, just as they were coming out of the Red Sea, the Most High Yahweh through Moses actually, part the Red Sea and let them come over on dry land, when they were actually across from Jordan, to get into Jericho. The Lord did the same thing, through Joshua. So what he did was he let the priests pass over with the Ark of the Covenant, and as the priests were walking towards the water, as if they're going through, or while they're going through, the water would actually make way. And then what ended up happening was they would stand in they stood in the middle of Jordan, and the waters parted, and then the people went over on dry land. And they were the Most High instructed Joshua to get the 12 men out of each tribe to take out 12 firm stones out of the midst of Jordan, right? So in verse, what's this, verse 20, no, not 20, Slakia, in verse, right, verse 20, the stones that it's referring to are those stones, right? So reading again, it says, "And those 12 stones which they took out of Jordan did Joshua pitch in Gilgal," right? So he actually set them up, right? "And he spake unto the children of Israel, saying, When your children shall ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What meaneth these stones?" Right? So these stones would have a meaning. These stones would have a purpose, right? Because it's there, so it would beg to question, which means that there's going to be something that needs to come to mind, right? Like, why is this here? It's a symbol of something, right? What are we supposed to know or remember or knowledge, when we see these stones, right? Verse 22 says, then ye shall let your children know, saying, Israel came over this Jordan on dry land. For Yahweh your power dried up the waters of Jordan from before you, until ye were passed over, as Yahweh your power did to the Red Sea, which he dried up before us, until we were gone over." Right? So that was it was acknowledging, what the Most High Yahweh did, right? And here's a point now, verse 24, it says, "That all the people of the earth might know that the hand of Yahweh Slovakia. I'm not sure what's up tonight. Let me just read this again. It says that all the people of the earth might know the hand of Yahweh, that it is mighty, that he might fear Yahweh your power forever. Right? So these stones are a memorial to know that, look, the hand of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is mighty, and henceforth you should actually fear him. Because if he has the power to actually, let you pass this Jordan, this river, right? Which based off of how this sounds, I bet it was actually deep, right? It must have been pretty deep, because it was considered what a mighty act, right? Right? Or even if it wasn't, deep, the whole fact that they went over on dry land is a miracle within itself. Right? So if he has the power to actually do that, imagine what he could do to you, right? And also on top of that, speaking onto the elect, why I compare this to the elect, when in the kingdom to come, when people see the elect, when people hear the elect, they're gonna know of the prophecies, that are coming to pass within these last days, of how Yahweh Hashem Yahushai brought them through the great famine, brought them through the great pestilence to come, brought them through the mighty sword and the perils of these last days, as it said in Daniel that the days that will be, these last days will there's no other day that had been like it, right? So to be delivered from that, because you fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, that will then teach the Israelites to fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Because guess what? He had the power to deliver the elect, through all those things. And also he would put fear on the heathen that, look, don't touch these men, because these men actually feared their power, and their power actually preserved them. Therefore, if you should try to go up against them, then it's going to be hell to pay, right? So it's through all the perils and things that and it's not like it's gonna be scratch free, right? The elect, the spirit is gonna be Lord willing of those men, the spirit will be on them, to resist all the temptations that are to come. Ultimately the RFID chip, right, which is the mark of the beast, that new medication that they're actually pushing on the market now for everyone to get, resisting the doctrine, surrounding about these things, whether it be science or whatever other forms of idolatry that Esau will try to push, basically, refusing to make Esau your God, or our God, but staying true to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, regardless of the amount of destruction that can be applied to the flesh, right? So is there gonna be like these stones? They're gonna be precious. They're gonna be firm, because when you read the instruction, it says that to get firm stones. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find it real quickly. Right? 12 men, shall leave the lodging place and set up one tribe, and take up every one of you a stone upon his shoulder, according to the tribes of children of Israel. Well, it didn't say firm stone, right? Oh, well, let me read verse 7, right? Joshua 4 I'll start at verse 6. It says that this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, what mean ye by these stones? Then ye shall answer them that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of Yahweh. When it passed over Jordan, the waters of Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial unto the children of Israel forever. Right? So let's look up the word memorial. Right? The elect, Zion, they're gonna be a memorial. Right? Memorial, reminder, a remembrance. Because that's what signs do. They call things to memory. They have a significance. They have a particular meaning, right? It says memorance memorial stones applied to the two gems on the shoulder bands, which the dress of the high priest was adorned, right? Memorial or monument, right? A memorial sign, right? Pretty much a memorial, right? As you can see here for Joshua 4 and 7, memory, remembrance, right? That's for the first definition right there, right? Now, interestingly enough, you know what, interesting enough, a lot of things in the Old Testament, foreshadowed things which are to come. Just as how Moses was a foreshadowing or of a symbol of what Yahushua would do in many aspects, right? Even Joshua within himself, because Joshua name is what Yahushua, right? And what Joshua was appointed to do was to divide the inheritance, the lots and the lands, to the children of Israel. But first he had to he went before them to what? To conquer, right? He actually was the captain of their salvation, at that time through Yahweh, right? Well, Joshua through Yahweh, right? And it is in how is that foreshadowed? Yahushai, who is the son of the Most High, the only begotten, the only begotten Son. He actually is the same thing for us. He's coming to save his people. He's gonna contend with the nations for us. He's the one that's gonna actually deliver us from this place and give us in his the inheritance through Yahweh. Is Heavenly Father, our Heavenly Father, right? And there are a few references in the New Testament, that I'd like to highlight, right? So first, let's go to Revelation 21, and I'll start at verse. Well, that's verse 21. Right. Let's start at Let's start at verse 10. It says, "And he carried me away in the spirit." This is the angel bringing John, right, to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from the Most High, which is the elect, coming down with Yahweh Shai, to conquer the planet, right? Verse 11 says, "Having the glory of the Most High, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, as clear as crystal." Right? So it's making reference to a stone right there. But let's continue. It says, "And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel." Right? And in Joshua, they were instructed to take out 12 stones, and each stone was to actually represent a tribe, right? It says, "On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, on the west 3 gates," right? It says, "And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb." Right? So right there and then it goes to show that foundations, when you're making a foundation, you have to have firm stones, right? You have to have firm stones, and as you can see, as Yahushua told his disciples that he'll have them on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, right? So you can see how being appointed of Yahushua, how the symbolic how what happened in Joshua, definitely foreshadows what was to come, right? It says, and he talked with me, had a golden reed to measure the city, and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof, and the city lieth 4 square, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. The length of the breadth and the height of it are equal. And he measured the wall thereof 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is of the angel. Right, so that represents what, the 144,000. The elect, the ruling body, of the elect, right? And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass. Right, and it goes down to says that the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stone. Right, so there again it says that the foundations were the 12 apostles, right, of the Lamb. And it says that the foundations of the wall were garnished with all manner of precious stones, and it lists 12 different stones, right? As it goes down to verse 20, you can read it for yourself, when you have the time. And here's a very good point. Now verse 22 says, and I saw no temple therein, for the Lord Yahweh Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it. Right, now let's look on the word temple. Right, it's the same word up here where it says I saw no temple therein, but Yahweh and Yahweh Shai was the temple of it. It's the same word. Let's play the Greek.
Strong's G 3485. Naas.
Right, so it says used of the temple at Jerusalem, but only of sacred edifice, right, or sanctuary, itself consisting of the holy place and the holy of holies. Right, now let's go down to the third definition, where it says metaphorically, the spiritual temple consisting of the saints of all ages, joined together by and in the Messiah. Right, so you see that you see how all of this lines up with Zion being a memorial. When people see us, whether it be heathen or Israelite, they're gonna remember and fear and know the might of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right, verse 24 says, and the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their honor and glory unto it. Right, everyone should submit to it. Right, and the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no light, there shall be no night there, and they shall bring the glory and honor of all nations into it. Right, now it says, and they shall in no wise enter into it anything that defile it, neither anything whatsoever work it abomination, or make it a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life, which is what they elect. Right, now there's also another a few more precepts that I'm out. What was that? Right, First Peter. So this is First Peter 2, and I'll start at verse 4. It says, to whom coming as unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of the Most High and precious, which is what Yahweh Shai, the chief cornerstone, which is the head. Right, verse 5, here's the point. It says, ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High by Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Right, so that's the thing, that's the key point right there. We will be those precious stones that will will offer up those spiritual sacrifices. We are the ones that when people see us, or Lord willing we have that number, definitely, we have the hopeful elect, they will definitely call to mind Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right, because that's what we will definitely represent. Now let me get the next precept. I think it's one more, two more, and I'm out. Right, so this is Luke 22, and I'll start at verse 28. It says, ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father had appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Right, So pretty much, those are the pillars. Those are the stones. That's the foundation, which the kingdom to come will stand upon, right? And that foundation will represent the might, strength, and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, that the whole earth may know to fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? Ultimately Zion, right? And the final one, it says something similar, but I'll take it from the book of Matthew, right? So this is Matthew chapter 19, and I'll start at verse 28. It says, And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, right? But guess what? They'll have to go through many things. So as it says here, and everyone that forsaketh houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. Right? But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So as you can see here, it comes at a cost, because once again, the elect, the reason why they will be considered firm, the reason why they will be considered fit, is because they actually endure, the trial and the temptation, at the time, but then they were with the Messiah. But even after he departed to prepare the kingdom for us, we withstood the challenges and the perils and the trials, basically, that fiery furnace, as he stated that the servant is not greater than his master. So if they hate the master, they'll hate the servant as well. They endured the world, just and did not forsake Yahushai, right? So definitely, it's a foreshadowing, of what was to come. All right. So with that, really hope this was edifying. Once more, to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways, pushing this word in all sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps. Shalom.